Lee Mallett,
Here.
William Cluott, Brian Bordelon, Noah Broussard,
Here.
Kristen Brown,
Here.
Kyle Condon,
Present.
Kim DiGiovanni,
Here.
David Gallo,
Here.
Adam Guillen, Stephen Heckworth, Harvey Honore,
Here.
Curtis Joseph, Donna Lambert,
Here.
Andy Lopez,
Here.
Garland Meredith,
Here.
Christopher Stewart,
Here.
Elliot Temple, Keith Tillage.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Condon, would you lead us in the pledge? Thank you. Ms. Starks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanika Starks, and I'm an Assistant Attorney General with the Louisiana Department of Justice, and I'll be presiding over today's administrative proceedings as the hearing officer. I will not make all final decisions. That's the board's job, but I will administer evidence as well as oaths and affirmations. Can we please silence all cell phones at this time? If any respondents are present, when your case is called, please step up to the microphone and state your name and your affiliation with the company. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion for the consideration of the February 19th minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Beavers.
Good morning. If we could start by swearing in the staff and investigators. Let's see what we got today. Frank Vaughn, Erica Segura, Stephanie Belanger, Dylan Borg, Joe Anderson, Krista McKee, Logan Cockerham, David Ham, Carrie Morgan, and myself.
Can you all raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
That's it?
That is it.
Thank you. There's no public comments, I assume. So I'll start right here. It's Mr. First case, please.
Eric Kevin Durr, any representatives present?
Mr. Durr. Microphone. Thank you. No problem.
A little nervous.
Can you state your name for me?
Eric Dirk.
All right, Mr. Durr, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Eric Kevin Durr is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for misrepresentation of fact by an applicant in obtaining a license, misrepresentation of fact by an applicant or licensee in providing information, statements, or documents to the staff or board, deception by omission, and providing false testimony to the board.
Mr. Durr, how would you like to plead to the alleged violations?
No contest. Move to accept. Stewart, second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The agency calls Frank Vaughn to the stand.
Mr. Vaughn has been sworn.
Good morning, Mr. Vaughn. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Frank Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn, you are currently employed as an investigator for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors.
Yes, sir.
Take a look at the exhibit pack in front of you. Are those documents that you obtained or prepared in the regular course of business during your investigation of Mr. Durr in your capacity as an investigator for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors?
Yes, sir.
Madam Hearing Officer, I offer, file, and introduce these documents into evidence as Exhibits 1, 2A through 2I, 3, and 4.
Mr. Durr, have you had a chance to look over the documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
No, ma'am.
No objection. Exhibits are admitted.
Mr. Vaughn, did you have occasion to investigate the activities of Mr. Durr as a result of an online application received from Mr. Durr for a commercial building license?
Yes, sir.
And that application is set forth in Exhibit 2F, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And question 5 of that application asks, quote, are there now any liens, judgments, or attachments pending or recorded against you or against any firm in which you had interest at the time such indebtedness was created? Correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Durr answered no on that application?
Yes, sir.
During the investigation into Mr. Durr's background, however, did you discover that there were judgments, in fact, existing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Calcasieu Parish records show that there were 6 judgments rendered against Mr. Durr. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And those judgments are contained in Exhibit 2G, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And 4 of the judgments were recorded in 2018. One was recorded in 2019, and one was recorded in 2023, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And as a result of finding these judgments, you went back and looked at previous applications filed by Mr. Durr with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Durr previously submitted applications for licensure with the board in May of 2021, February 2022, December 2023, January 2024, and a renewal application in February 2025. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And those applications are contained in Exhibits 2A through 2E. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And in response to the question on each of those applications as to whether there were any judgments against him, Mr. Durr stated no in each of those applications, correct?
Correct.
But as we saw earlier, records from Calcasieu Parish show 5 judgments recorded against him in 2018 through 2019. Is that correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Mr. Durr, do you have any questions for Mr. Vaughn?
No, ma'am.
Okay, at this time, you may make a statement to the board as to the allegations. You've made a plea of no contest. The board will make a decision as to the fine, if any.
Okay. Unfortunately, I think this is just ignorance on my part of thinking that the bankruptcy was included all of that. I had no intentions or intentionally lying to the state or the board about no judgment. I've turned in my bankruptcy every year. So this is just ignorance on my part, clicking it no every year. Maybe just seeing the state tax liens, I'm not sure. It's just an unfortunate mistake I made.
Are you carrying a license now?
Sir,
Do you have a license now?
I think it renewed a couple of weeks ago, or should it renew?
Wait, residential, commercial?
Residential and commercial was up for
So
renewal.
is this an application to renew his residential license?
There was both. The review was commercial
So-
and residential.
So if I understand it, it would not be possible for him to have a license till the judgments are cleared, correct?
Correct.
Y'all got any questions? Do you understand that?
That's why I filed bankruptcy in 2018. That
I know, but the problem is these judgments they're still on your record. So
correct.
how many bankruptcies have you filed?
I'm currently in my second one. I was dismissed from the first one, and that's why I think some of those judgments, I guess, are still showing up from 2018 and that 2019.
Well, I don't see how you're going to be able to keep your license until all those judgments are cleared right now. So I need some help from the lawyers here.
So my understanding is judgments will never be cleared. If he files bankruptcy, all it shows is those judgments after he files bankruptcy.
These
those
weren't in the bankruptcy.
Judgments aren't due anymore. So they'll never be cleared. The bankruptcy court won't go and file a satisfaction.
But I understand these
judgment.
are not in the bankruptcy.
That's what we need to find out is if these are actually in the bankruptcy.
Well, we need some guidance from y'all. What are y'all asking us to do here?
I think the issue is not whether the judgments are still effective. It's the failure to disclose the existence of the judgments, regardless of whether the bankruptcy, suspended the effect or
Right, that's
removed the
second
effect.
part. What is the staff recommending here?
We can go back and look and see the suitability of his ability to contract based on that and other factors if they are found after this.
So what do you want us to do right now?
Impose a fine that y'all find is appropriate in administrative cost.
Do you want us to do anything with the license until you come to a conclusion?
No, I think we can bring a case later on, should that arise, that we find he is unsuitable for licensure.
Okay, so who's gonna make the fine?
Well, he's already making his contrition. I think we just find it, well, he can't find it guilty, but it's in no contest.
Right.
So we just impenitently pay.
Right.
Yeah, $2,000 per court cost will be the penalty.
Yes, sir.
Second.
A motion.
Donald Lamb.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
TR
That's it.
Excavating LLC appeared this morning and submitted an offer to settle that'll be presented under Section E. Items 3 through 12, Empire Electrical Group and Ryan Michael White. Are there any representatives present?
Wait, what case were you?
Good morning. My name is Gray Sexton. I'm here on behalf of the respondent, Mr. White. We are prepared to surrender Ryan's license. We recognize that events overwhelmed him and Empire. They were not his fault, but they occurred. And at this point, the wiser course of action than to face a revocation would be to surrender his license. And that is what our recommendation to him has been this morning.
And the QP status as well.
Thank you, Mr. Sexton. Council, do you want to admit any of the documents into the record? How do you want to handle?
Yes, we want to move to consolidate all the matters D3 through D12. Once those matters are consolidated, then move to admit the exhibit packets for each individual matter into the record as well.
We have no objection.
So moved. Second.
Tillage move to accept. Stewart second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. You can go ahead.
Are we going to read all of them into the record, Ms. Morgan? How are we handling that? Do we need to?
I don't think we need to read anything into the to go through any of the exhibits into the record, but just to make it clear that the defendant Empire and Mr. White have agreed to surrender their licensure and QP status, and just ask that the board recognize that. And I think that'll conclude this matter.
Motion to accept that.
Yeah, that was my motion. Motion to accept that.
Okay.
Both qualifying status and
Yes, sir.
Surrender of his license.
Okay.
I thought the motion was for the consolidation.
I did too.
Maybe I jumped.
So let's make that clear. Let's do that again.
My motion was to consolidate.
Okay.
Condon seconded, and then Tillage moved to accept the surrender.
All right, so we got the first one done?
Qualifying party.
Or you want to do them both over?
Yeah, please. For the record, please.
Both?
I'll move to consolidate the matters. How about that? I will second again.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next motion.
Tillage move to accept surrender of his license and qualifying party status. Stewart second.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, if I could interrupt, just for clarity, for the record, and I believe Mr. Sexton is very much for clear records. Mr. Sexton offered to surrender the license. We asked, and I think somebody else said, the qualifying party status. Can we be clear what Mr. Sexton is trying to surrender on behalf of his client?
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Sexton.
Mr. Sexton?
That is correct. We surrender our license as the qualifying party.
License and qualifying.
License and qualifying party, is that what you're saying,
Status.
Mr. Gray?
That's correct.
Thank you. I just wanted that clear for the
Make
record.
your motions.
Fine.
Thank you.
Once again, Tillage, I move to accept the surrender of the license and the qualifying party status.
Stewart second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, we're going back to number 2.
No.
Now that'll be under Section E. Items 13 and 14. Items 13 and 14, Anderson Design Plus Build LLC and John Anderson. Are any representatives present?
He's in the room.
Come back to items 13 and 14 under Section E, Settlement Offers. We have Bouillon Construction LLC, case 2025-141301. They're offering no contest plea, $1,000 fine, $1,000 costs. Paul's Plumbing Repairs LLC, case number 2024-016502. They're offering no contest plea, $1,000 fine, $1,000 costs. AMR Enterprise LLC, case 2024-092406. They're offering no contest plea, $1,000 fine, $1,000 costs. Under Section D2, we had TR Excavating LLC, case 2025-1102-02. We're offering a no contest plea, $1,000 fine plus $1,000 costs.
Donald Lambert, move to accept.
Tillage.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Counsel, do you want to admit the exhibits into evidence?
Yes, I'll file and introduce the exhibit packets for each individual case in those settlements.
Exhibits are admitted.
Under Section F, rehearing requests with settlement offers. Steve Corbello, doing business as Corbello Equipment and Construction. Case number 2025-081401, offering no contest plea, $1,000 fine, $1,000 costs. All Miller Pump Services and Equipment LLC, case 2025-105906, no contest plea at $3,000 fine, $1,000 costs. Danny E. Myers, case 2025-0813-02, offering no contest plea, $1,000 fine, $1,000 costs. Assuming you accept the rehearing request.
Move to accept.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Hearing Officer, I'd like to, I'll file and introduce the exhibit packets in each of those individual matters as well.
Okay, exhibits are admitted. Was that motion for the rehearing request or for both settlement offer and hearing request?
Both.
We need both.
Yeah, we need both. That's what I was asking.
What do you need?
So the settlement offers for the rehearing request, was that motion that just happened, was that for the hearing request, a rehearing request, or was that for to accept the
I think we're
settlement?
accepting the settlement offer.
Yeah.
And granting the rehearing.
And grant that rehearing
Yeah,
request.
we granted the hearing and accepted the settlement offer.
Were there two? Did I miss something?
We combined them.
Okay. I'm just making sure for the record.
Under statutory citations, Section G, Ronald Gabriel, case number 2025-106402, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Ronald Gabriel, case 2025-052402, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Kravasi Inc., case 2025-137401, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Bowen Electric and Heating Service LLC, case 2025-107903, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Case 2023-131602, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Case 2025-107603, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Wedekempers Inc., case 2024-167701, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. TCB Constructors LLC, case 2025-189101, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. TCB Constructors LLC, case 2025-189201, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Cruz Construction LLC, case 2025-165201, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Innovative Recreation of Louisiana LLC, case 2025-038901, no contest plea, $1,000 costs. Michelle Sterling, doing business as All of Texas Access Control LLC, case 2025-105902, no contest plea, $1,000 costs.
Move to accept. Lambert. Meredith, second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Back to item 13, Anderson Design Plus Build LLC.
Madam Hearing Officer, I'd like to file and introduce the exhibit packets for all the individual citation matters.
Exhibits are admitted.
Thank you.
And John Anderson. Are any representatives present?
Just me.
Can you state your name?
John Anderson.
Okay.
That's all together.
Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Anderson?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Anderson Design Plus Build LLC and John Anderson is before you today for consideration of alleged violations for publicly circulating a misleading or false claim related to the license or classification and for efforts to deceive or defraud the public.
Is this 13?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, what's your affiliation with Anderson Design and Build LLC?
I'm the owner of Anderson Design and Build.
Okay. How would you like to plead to the alleged violations?
Not guilty.
Okay.
The agency calls Stephanie Belanger to the stand.
Ms. Belanger has been sworn.
Good morning, Ms. Belanger. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Stephanie Belanger.
And Ms. Belanger, you're currently employed as an investigator by the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors?
Yes.
Okay. If you take a look at the exhibit pack in front of you, are those documents that you obtained or prepared in the regular course of business during your investigation of Mr. Anderson and Anderson Design and Build in your role as an investigator for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors?
Yes.
Madam Hearing Officer, I offer file and introduce these documents into evidence as exhibits 1, 2A through N, 3, and 4.
Two A through N.
2A through 2N, 3 and 4.
We have J.
We have J.
I'm sorry, 2A through 2J.
Okay.
Apologies.
No problem. Mr. Anderson, have you had an opportunity to review these documents?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
I do not.
Okay, no objection. The exhibits are admitted.
Ms. Belanger, did you have occasion to investigate the activities of Mr. Anderson as a result of a complaint received by the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors from the Chief Electrical Inspector for Jefferson Parish Code Enforcement, notifying the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors that Mr. Anderson was in their office applying for a Jefferson Parish electrical license?
Yes.
Was Mr. Anderson's attempt to obtain an electrical license cause for concern because Mr. Anderson's license with this board had been suspended in December of 2025?
Yes.
Were you advised that Mr. Anderson submitted several documents to Jefferson Parish in support of his request for an electrical license?
Yes.
Take a look at Exhibit 2B. Is that a copy of the application for an electrical license submitted by Mr. Anderson to Jefferson Parish?
Yes.
The application does not show that electrical is selected, but the audit trail document received from Jefferson Parish, which is attached as Exhibit 2C, shows that the application is in fact seeking an electrical license. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that application was submitted on January 28th, 2026. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In the blank, if you notice there's a blank on there, in the blank where it asks for a state license number, the number 70336 is written in that blank. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that is the license number of Mr. Anderson that was suspended in December of 2025. Is that correct?
Correct.
So at the time this application was submitted, Mr. Anderson did not have a valid state license. Is that correct? So at the time this application was submitted, Mr. Anderson did not have a valid state license?
Correct.
Okay. If you look at Exhibit 2D, that is the Louisiana State Licensing Board Contractor Certificate of Licensure submitted by Mr. Anderson in support of his request for an electrical license from Jefferson Parish. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But that document appears to be altered. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The expiration date on that document, which is listed as October 14, 2026, was altered, correct?
Correct.
The correct expiration date for the license number listed on that certificate is October 14, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And if you take a look at Exhibit 2E, that's an accurate copy of the license certificate as reflected in the records for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, correct?
To what?
If you look at 2E, it's not.
Not in there. Driving.
All I see is this one, 24. Oh, 26. Okay.
One moment. Appears the exhibits are out of order or missing, but during your investigation, did you have occasion to check the records of the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors to determine whether the certificate that was submitted by Mr. Anderson was accurate?
Yes.
And your review of the current records of Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors shows that the license actually expired in 2025 rather than 2026, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Anderson also submitted some insurance documents in support of his application to Jefferson Parish, is that correct?
Correct.
And those documents are contained in Exhibit 2I, is that correct?
Correct. No, 2I is the cease and desist.
H. 2H.
Yeah, it's going to be H.
Can we take a short break while I figure out where the disconnect is in the records?
That date right there says it expired on June 26th. Well, they're saying it expired on 25.
Would you like for us to take a 10-minute break while you do this?
If you don't mind.
Okay, let's
Thank
take a 10-minute break.
Lee Mallett.
Here.
William Cluott. Brian Bordelon.
Here.
Noah Broussard.
Here.
Kristen Brown.
Here.
Kyle Conley.
Present.
Kim Diadjimani.
Here.
David Gallo. Adam Quinn. Stephen Hackworth. Harvey Honore.
Here.
Curtis Joseph. Donald Lambert.
Here.
Andy Lopez.
Here.
Garland Meredith.
Here.
Christopher Stewart. Elliot Temple. Keith Tillage. We have a quorum.
Keith is here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's go. Ready?
Mr. Chairman, first off, my apologies to the board, to Mr. Anderson, to everyone. There was some confusion regarding the correct exhibit pack. I believe we have that taken care of right now. I think in order to make sure that the record's clear, I'm going to move to strike the prior proceedings and the admission of the exhibit packet before, and to begin again so that we're clear as to exactly what exhibits are being presented, what evidence, and so that there's no confusion. I'll make that motion to the board.
Yeah. Motion to strike previous record.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Anderson Design Post Build LLC and John Anderson. Are any representatives present?
Mr. Anderson, can you make your appearance? I'm sorry.
Yes, John Anderson here. No, just representing myself.
Okay, and we've already had a plea of not guilty. Is that plea stand?
That's correct, not guilty.
Okay, and Mr. Anderson has been sworn.
And just for the record, just to clarify, Mr. Anderson, the new exhibit pack that you just received, you previously received that in digital form, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, thank you. All right, the agency calls Stephanie Belanger to the stand.
Ms. Belanger has also been sworn.
Good morning, Ms. Belanger. Again,
morning.
please state your full name for the record.
Stephanie Belanger.
And you are currently employed as an investigator for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors?
Correct.
Okay. Please take a look at the exhibit pack in front of you. Are those documents that you obtained or prepared in the regular course of business during your investigation of Mr. Anderson and Anderson Design and Build in your capacity as an investigator for the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Hearing Officer, I offer file and introduce these documents into evidence as exhibits 1, 2A through 2N, 3 and 4.
Mr. Anderson, do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
I do not.
No objection. Exhibits are admitted.
Okay. Ms. Belanger, did you have occasion to investigate the activities of Mr. Anderson as a result of a complaint you received from the Jefferson Parish Chief Electrical Inspector in Jefferson Parish?
Yes.
Okay. And was that complaint related to Mr. Anderson's attempt to obtain an electrical license from Jefferson Parish?
Yes.
Okay. And did the Jefferson Parish Licensing Authority express concern to you about that because they believe that Mr. Anderson's license with this board had been suspended previously in December of 2025?
Correct.
And it had actually been suspended in July of 2025, but that matter was reheard in December of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And were you advised by Jefferson Parish that Mr. Anderson had submitted several documents to Jefferson Parish in order to support his request for a license?
Yes.
Okay, if you take a look at Exhibit 2B, that is a copy of the application for the electrical license that was submitted by Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, that application does not show, quote, electrical is selected, but if you look at the audit trail that's also accompanies that was received by Jefferson Parish, it does in fact show that the request was for an electrical license, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that application was submitted on January 28th, 2026, correct?
Correct.
And in the blank where it asks for a Louisiana state license number, the number 70336 is written in that blank, correct?
Correct.
And that is the license number for Mr. Anderson that was suspended during the rehearing in December of 2025, correct?
Correct.
So at that time, when the application was submitted in January, Mr. Anderson did not have a valid state license, correct?
Correct.
Now, if you take a look at Exhibit 2D, that is a Louisiana State Licensing Board of Contractors certificate of licensure that was submitted by Mr. Anderson in support of his request for the electrical license from Jefferson Parish, correct?
Correct.
But that document is not accurate, is it?
Correct.
The expiration date on that document, which is listed as October 14, 2026, is not correct.
Right.
The correct expiration date for the license number listed on that certificate is October 14, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And if you take a look at Exhibit 2E, that is an accurate copy of the license certificate as reflected in the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors records. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that document, Exhibit 2E, that was printed last week, correct?
It was printed last week?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the expiration on that document is October 14, 2025, correct?
Correct.
So the document that was submitted by Mr. Anderson to Jefferson Parish, for that document that was submitted by Mr. Anderson to Jefferson Parish was altered and is not accurate, correct?
Correct.
Now, Mr. Anderson also submitted some insurance documents in support of his application to Jefferson Parish,
Correct.
and those documents are contained in Exhibit 2I, correct?
Yes.
But you came to understand that those documents were not accurate or were fraudulent as well, correct?
Correct.
In fact, the Louisiana Department of Insurance sent a cease and desist letter to Mr. Anderson and indicated in that letter that the insurance certificates he submitted with his Jefferson Parish application were fraudulent, correct?
Correct.
And that cease and desist letter can be found in Exhibit 2J, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, after Mr. Anderson's license was suspended in December 2025, he filed a petition for judicial review, correct?
Correct.
And that petition is attached as Exhibit 2M.
Yes.
Okay. And that petition was filed on December 23rd, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And in that petition, Mr. Anderson asked the court to stay enforcement of the board's decision suspending his license pending judicial review, correct?
Correct.
And the court ultimately granted that request, correct?
Yes.
But if you take a look at Exhibit 2N, that is a copy of the court's order granting the stay, correct?
Correct.
But that order was not signed until February 11th, 2026.
Correct.
Okay. So on January 28th, 2026, when Mr. Anderson applied for an electrical license for Jefferson Parish and represented that he had a state license, that license was suspended, correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Mr. Anderson, do you have any questions for Ms. Belanger?
No, I do not.
And counsel, do you have any further witnesses or documentary evidence?
Nothing further.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, at this time, you may testify on your behalf. If you have any evidence or any other witnesses, you can do that. You can bring them forward as well. And once that has ceased, then the board will may have any questions for you. Please answer their questions, and then they will come to the termination of your of a decision of your innocence or guilt, and then a fine, if any.
Yep. This is going to be pretty clear, but on advice on counsel, I'm not making factual statements regarding this matter.
Okay. Is his microphone on?
No. Can you pull your?
Can you hear me? It's. Can I raise it up or not? Yeah. On the advice of counsel, I'm not making factual statements regarding this matter.
Okay.
So, can we ask a question?
Yeah.
You can ask a question.
So what are you pleading not guilty to?
I'm pleading not guilty to the allegations.
Which are what?
They are, I believe it's efforts to deceive the public, as it says here.
By applying for an electrical license with a
expired or a forged license certificate, right?
Again, I'm not making any factual statements.
Okay.
I'd like to ask a couple of questions. I know he's not going to answer them, but, or I assume you won't just based on what you said before, but just to be clear here, my understanding is you submitted a copy of the license found in Exhibit 2D, which shows that your Louisiana contractor's license was effective in 2024 and expired in 2026. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, you're asking me whether.
Did you, the license that's found in 2D, the copy of your contractor's license, just asking if you submitted that to the plumbing board of New Orleans or Jefferson Parish to try to get a license with them?
Right, again, I can't make any comment on the advice of my counsel.
The only question I have for you is if a minute ago you said you didn't object to any of these documents, correct?
I don't object that they're here.
You had no objection to put them in the record?
I have no objection to put them in the record.
Good. So we would assume if you have no objections, then these documents are correct.
I cannot make a comment on that.
Yeah.
I think we're wasting our time.
Yeah.
I think we should go forward. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to find him guilty of the allegations.
Second, Meredith.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Penalty.
Move max fine plus costs.
Second, Condon.
Amend.
It's 1,000, right?
Amend.
1,000?
There's no project value to assess a fine. We can only assess
So it's just
administrative
costs,
fee.
just hearing costs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
I'd like to amend that motion to include suspension of the license.
Microphone. Tillage, second.
Can we terminate the
You
license?
can't. What about that one charge? There's a $20,000.
His QP status is what's still in play.
Okay. That's the next case.
yeah, next case.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next case.
Anderson Design Plus Build LLC and John Anderson are before you today for consideration of alleged violations for unlawfully engaging in the business of contracting without a license and for efforts to deceive or defraud the public.
Mr. Anderson has previously been sworn, and he's present on behalf of the company and himself. Mr. Anderson, how would you like to plead to the alleged violations?
Not guilty.
Okay.
The agency calls Stephanie Belanger to the stand.
Ms. Belanger has been sworn.
Good morning, Ms. Belanger. Could you please state your full name for the record?
Stephanie Belanger.
Ms. Belanger, you are currently employed as an investigator for Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors.
Correct.
Okay. Please take a look at the exhibit package you have in front of you. Are those documents that you obtained or prepared in the regular course of business in your capacity as an investigator for Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors during your investigation of Mr. Anderson and Anderson Design and Build?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Hearing Officer, I offer file and introduce these documents into evidence as Exhibits 1, 2A through 2T, 3, and 4.
Mr. Anderson, have you had a chance to review these documents?
I believe I have digital version, yes.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
I do not.
No objection. The exhibits are admitted.
Ms. Belanger, did you have occasion to investigate the activities of Mr. Anderson as a result of a complaint you received from the building inspections manager with the City of New Orleans Safety and Permit Council?
Yes.
Okay. And you received a copy of a June 4th, 2025 contract between Anderson Design and a company called Cohen Street First for a new residential construction project at 2461 North Villery Street in New Orleans?
Con Street first. But yes.
Okay.
Or
I'm sorry, I said Cohen.
Cohen,
Yeah.
Con, yeah.
Okay. Take a look at Exhibit 2A. Is that a copy of that contract?
Yes.
Okay. And as of the date of that contract, Anderson Design had a residential license with the Louisiana State Licensing Board, correct?
Correct.
On July 17, 2025, however, this board conducted a hearing on Mr. Anderson as the QP for Anderson Design, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Anderson was in the audience that day, but ultimately left prior to that hearing being conducted, correct?
Correct.
After the hearing, and based on the evidence presented, Mr. Anderson's QP status and Anderson Design's license were revoked. Is that correct?
Correct.
So on July 21st, 2025, you received an email from the city of New Orleans indicating that on July 18th, 2025, the day after Mr. Anderson's license had been revoked, a new contract for that North Villeray Street project was uploaded to the city of New Orleans Permit Office, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit 2C is a copy of the email that you received?
Yes.
And Exhibit 2B is a copy of that new contract that was uploaded, correct?
Correct.
If you look at Exhibit 2B and compare it to Exhibit 2A, the agreements, those documents are very similar, correct?
Correct.
Both contracts say in the second line, quote, between Anderson Design Build LLC and Cone First Properties 6425, correct?
Correct.
But Exhibit 2B states that the contractor is Master Builder and Renovation dash John Anthony Alonzo Sr., correct?
Correct.
And the owner is now listed as Camden Heights LLC, correct?
Correct.
Now, the city of New Orleans was concerned about this new contract because it knew that Mr. Anderson's license had been revoked, correct?
Correct.
They asked you if the Louisiana Licensing Board for Contractors had received anything from Mr. Alonzo about taking over this project, correct?
Correct.
So did you call Mr. Alonzo?
I did.
And when you talked to him, he told you that he did not know anything about this project, did not sign Exhibit 2B, and had not authorized anyone to sign that contract in Exhibit 2B on his behalf, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, if you look at Exhibit 2J, Mr. Alonzo confirmed in a July 22nd, 2026 email that, quote, I'm John Alonzo, owner of Master Builders and Renovation LLC. The contract on 2459-2461 Billary was not signed by me, correct?
Correct.
Now, a few days later, on July 29th, 2025, you received another contract dated July 24th, 2025, and a construction estimate for the same property, this time between Camden Heights LLC and Master Builder and Renovations LLC, correct?
Correct.
And the contract is included in the exhibit packet as 2E, and the estimate is included as 2F, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In addition to purportedly being signed by Mr. Bruno as the owner and Mr. Alonzo as the contractor, the contract and estimate are also signed by Mr. Anderson, John Anderson, as, quote, manager for the contractor and manager for the Master Builder and Renovation, respectively, correct?
Correct.
So in December of last year, as you may recall, the board held a rehearing on Mr. Anderson's case where his license was revoked. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And during that rehearing, Mr. Anderson testified under oath, correct?
Correct.
And during that hearing, when Mr. Anderson was asked if he ever worked for Mr. Alonzo, Mr. Anderson stated, quote, no, I don't work for him. I've never worked for him, correct?
Correct.
And the transcript of that proceeding can be found at Exhibit 2S in your exhibit pack, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in order to perform construction work without a license on a commercial project, you have to either be licensed or you have to be a W-2 employee of a licensed contractor, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Anderson, based on your investigation, has never been a W-2 employee of Mr. Alonzo or his company, correct?
Correct.
Now, at some point, Mr. Anderson uploaded the contract that's set forth in Exhibit G, is that correct? 2G.
Correct.
And again, despite saying at the top of that contract that it was, quote, between Anderson Design Build and Cone First Properties 6425, this contract is purportedly signed by John Alonzo on behalf of Master Builder and Stephen Bruno on behalf of Camden Heights, correct?
Correct.
Now, if you take a look at Exhibit 2M, that is a contract between Stephen Bruno on behalf of Camden Heights as the owner and Mighty Air Conditioning and Heating as the contractor, right?
Correct.
And that is the contract that was presented to Orleans Parish to take the place of the other contracts that we've looked at for the North Villeray project, correct?
Correct.
Now, when the Louisiana State License Board for Contractors discovered this contract, someone reached out to Michael Prater, who is listed as the representative of Mighty AC in the contract, and asked him if he and Mighty AC were performing work on this job. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Prater said that he had agreed to the contract, but was unaware that any work had started and he had not performed any work pursuant to the contract, correct?
Correct.
But work had already begun and had already been conducted on the project at that time, correct?
Correct.
And if you take a look at Exhibit 2T, those are text messages between Mr. Anderson and Mr. Prater regarding the North Villeray project, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, based on those messages, it appears that Mr. Prater essentially agreed to lend his license to Mr. Anderson so that he could continue to do the work on the North Billary project. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. If you take a look at Exhibit 2N, that is a contract between Anderson Design Build and Fence Cutters LLC to install a temporary electric pole at the North Billary project, correct?
Correct.
Now, Fence Cutters is listed as the owner on that agreement, correct?
Correct.
And the date of that agreement is 6/6/25, is that correct?
Correct.
If we look back at Exhibit 2A, dated 6/4/25, Cone Street First Stephen Bruno is listed as the owner of the property, correct?
Correct.
And if we look back at Exhibit 2B, also dated 6/4/25, Camden Heights LLC is listed as the owner of the property, correct?
Correct.
And if we look back at Exhibit 2E, dated 7/24/25, Master Builder and Renovations is listed as the owner of the property, correct?
Correct.
So according to all these documents we just looked at submitted by Mr. Anderson, the North Billary property has been owned by 4 different entities within the span of approximately 6 weeks.
Correct.
Okay. Now take a look at Exhibit 2O. That is a printout from the New Orleans Tax Assessor's Office, which shows the ownership of the North Billary property over the years, correct?
Correct.
Neither Master Builder and Renovation nor Cone Street are listed as prior owners. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now take a look at Exhibit 2R. That is a copy of architectural plans submitted to the City of New Orleans for the North Billary project, correct?
Correct.
On the first 2 pages, under the phrase new residence, do you see that at the bottom or the top, depending on how you orient the page? It lists the address as 245961 North Billary, correct?
Correct.
But the plans clearly demonstrate that this is a single family project, not a double, correct?
Correct.
And if you look at the 3rd and 4th pages of those architectural plans, under the new residence section, it lists the address as 633 North Pierce Street, correct?
Correct.
That's not an accurate address for that matter, though, is it?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions for Ms. Belanger?
I do not.
Okay. Do you plan on testifying on your behalf?
What do you mean testify, like respond or?
Provide a statement?
Regarding this, I'm not authenticating documents or making factual admissions. I'm here to address procedural deficiencies or any issues.
Okay. What procedural deficiencies?
No, not right now as far as deficiencies, just answer any procedural questions.
From the board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does the board have any questions? Counsel, do you have any further witnesses? I'm sorry, any further?
Now, if Mr. Anderson doesn't have anything further, I was just going to explain that given the testimony and evidence presented, do you have anything further, Mr. Anderson?
Any what?
Do you have anything further that you want to present?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, given the testimony and evidence presented, the agency submits that the defendant violated Louisiana Revised Statute 372163A1, which states it shall be unlawful for any person to engage or to continue in this state in the business of contracting or to act as a contractor as defined in this chapter, unless he holds an active license as a contractor in accordance with the provisions of this chapter, as well as violated Louisiana Revised Statute 58A18, efforts to deceive or defraud the public.
Move to find him guilty, borderline.
Second, Condon.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Penalty.
Max fine plus cost, borderline.
Second, Condon.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Counsel.
We were actually seeking revocation of his qualifying party status in his company's licenses.
You want to do revocation of this one too?
Yes, sir. Based on the seriousness, and this is the 3rd offense of efforts to deceive and defraud the public.
So we take what?
3 cases.
Okay. Well, I'll amend the motion to max fine,
Yep.
so we found him guilty. I'll amend the motion to max fine plus cost, revocation of his license and qualifying party status.
Tilly, second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next case. Thank you.
I believe that's all the.
We're on section H, exemption requests.
Are we done? Y'all done?
We're cases, yes, sir.
Yep. So we now need the reports from the treasurer. Oh,
I believe your treasurer has just exited. Mr. Chair and members, We are, as you saw our financials, I think we're on the same solid footing that we are moving forward with the things that we're working towards complete here. I do have a request from our auditor that someone would make a motion to accept the 2025 Louisiana Compliance Questionnaire for audit engagements of government entities.
So moved.
Tillage second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. You got a staff report?
We're staffing as hard as we can staff. If you can quit bringing things to my attention to handle.
Are you going to make the case to entertain the motion on changing the
Wait.
topic?
We need exemptions. Y'all rolled right past the exemptions. So, Mr. Tillage, if you can make a motion on behalf of the exemption committee, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on the committee recommendations, after considerations of the applications for exemption of exam, I move that the exemption request for the following be approved for classification as listed on the agenda. Kirk Lott, Sam Andros, Shelby Rabiek, James Castro, Derek Fife, Mark Franklin, Danny Loyal, Stephen Smith, Todd Urbana.
Meredith, second.
I got a motion and second, all in favor?
I'm gonna do them individually.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I also move that the exemption request for the following be approved for building only Enrique Rosano and Raymond Bianchini Jr.
I need a second.
Meredith, second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I also move that the exemption request for the following be denied: Mohammed Halabai and Joshua Thomas.
Meredith, second.
I got a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think you're all in J.
Do what?
I think you're at letter J to approve the actions taken by residential in March.
I need a motion to accept the residential building subcommittee minutes.
So moved, Condon.
Tillage second.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Wait. You're gonna make the case for the resolution?
I can make a suggestion and one of y'all can make a motion. It has been discussed several times in the last few months that perhaps we could change our meeting our meeting time to be a little bit earlier, so all y'all can get back to what you have to do. I think that there's been some discussion about, is it 9 o'clock or 8:30?
8:30.
To have an 8:30, our meeting to begin at 8:30 in the morning instead of 9:30. And I think that it would be best if we had a motion to do that. If anyone would like to make such a motion.
Tillage, so moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And
Now we need a motion to adjourn.
the one comment I'd like to make, Mr. Chair, is I don't know that we're going to be able to effectuate that in the next 60 days, perhaps, as notices have already been out.
Okay.
I will let you know the next month that we have not scheduled yet. We will begin an 8:30 meeting at that point. The one thing that I could add to you real quick, and it will be forthcoming in the next couple of weeks. I tried this a couple years ago and there was some resistance. I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to tell you we're getting ahead of a legislative bill that most likely is going to pass. Currently, in state law, all board members are supposed to have a contact email in your place of business on the website. I tried to do that a little while ago. Y'all didn't like that very much, so we're working through it a little bit. There is a new statute that is, or a bill proposed to become statute that seems to be gaining a lot of momentum. In advance of that, I have asked that the staff create an LSLBC email account for you. There's some benefits to that. Everything that you do as a member of the board is public record. I keep separate phones for separate reasons to avoid conflicts and private information going to the public record side. What you choose to do that email address is entirely up to you. If you'd like to forward it to something else and respond from there, I don't care. But everybody's going to have an LSLBC email address. We are also going to be required to provide a public accessible phone number for each of you. I have created an office phone number for you that will ring in this office, though it won't ring. You will not have a phone. It will be a deadline that they can leave a voice message for you at that will be sent to your email. You can respond how you wish. We will give you that information hopefully by next month.
Okay.
That
That
was
was
all I-
information only.
That was information only. It's forthcoming.
Okay, anything else?
A lot, but we already handled it.
All right. Need a motion. If we're done, need a motion to adjourn.
Tilly, so moved.
Second, Condon.
Adjourn.